I would like to thank a very kind person who donated to my PayPal account. In a few of my videos, I post links for donations, and somebody actually donated $20 on the internet. So thank you so much. And it says that it's for chocolate milk. So probably not like this week, but next week I think I'm gonna bike down to Cracker Barrel, and they've got a large size chocolate milk. So I'm gonna pick one of those up. Maybe I'll even get two. You know, you only live once. So, anyways, what am I talking about here? Let's discuss Uber Eats and DoorDash. So, I use the trial memberships, and DoorDash, for new users, they give you like 30% off, and you don't have to pay the delivery fee. But during this period of time, you're probably paying about what you would pay to actually go there. They're giving you a discount in the beginning for a new user. DoorDash does this, not really Uber Eats. They each have a 4-week-long trial membership that you can sign up for, which I actually did not get to use for Uber Eats. I used the trial membership for Uber Eats, but not DoorDash. I did not get to use that, so maybe I'll have to call them, because I had a new user discount, and then it told me I would get more money off if I signed up for a trial account, and so I was supposed to have a lower bill. I signed up for the trial account, and then the price of the order went up a few dollars. So then I had to immediately cancel it. I did not even get to use it 1 minute. So this was quite a scam, because it advertises for you to join while you're in the shopping cart, and it doesn't tell you that it gets rid of your new user discount if you're in the shopping cart. So this is some type of scam and a half. So I might have to call them, but honestly, I think I'm just done with it. This is an honest review of Uber Eats and DoorDash in my small town in Ohio. And this is after Corona. So after all of this, just customer service is crap everywhere. Customer service has went downhill big time. And I remember you didn't used to have to ask to get napkins in your bag. It used to be standard when you would go through drive-through, they would put napkins and like little plastic forks in your bag, and they would give you multiple napkins. And then a few years ago, you would only get one napkin. Then you'd get no napkins at all, and then you got to ask, and they don't want to give you the napkins. So this is ridiculous. You can just see like how the economy is doing based on how many free napkins you get or don't get. But Uber Eats and DoorDash, I do not recommend. I actually have recommended these to people that could use it, and now I don't know. I mean, those people would probably still enjoy these services, but I am done. I am done. Unless they have like another thing where it's 30% off to order a Starbucks. I have a bike now. I have a bike now, and I'm biking 2 miles to the restaurant myself to make sure I actually get what I purchase. And so there's a few things I'm going to discuss about Uber Eats and DoorDash. But the biggest issue is the restaurant. So I know that they started delivering from like hardware stores and convenience stores, and I haven't tried any of those things because the prices are just way too expensive. And I can probably go to a hardware store on a bike and get something small. I can do that now. I didn't have my bike until recently. My bike wasn't usable until like a couple weeks ago. So at that point it was just on foot walking. So that was a bad situation. So I made use of the trial membership to Uber Eats. Before then, for some period of time, I was like sick for a month. I wasn't feeling well. And so I actually signed up for DoorDash, and I use that more. I would say, honestly, I do like DoorDash more than Uber Eats. They're very similarly priced, but maybe DoorDash is a little less expensive. I'm thinking, I think they're a little less expensive, but it's comparable. See, when I had DoorDash the first time, like, you guys really have to look at the websites, because a lot of these restaurants have their own delivery services. Like, you can go to Red Lobster and you can just order on their website. You don't need to have Uber Eats or DoorDash, and you don't even need an account. You can use it anyways. You just have to pay more. This is one thing is I love Panera, so I was using it for Panera. But then if you spend $25 at Panera, you get free delivery. And I'm going to tell you guys, it was night and day. The difference in my order. When I ordered Panera from DoorDash and when I ordered Panera from Panera.com, when I ordered Panera from DoorDash, I kept getting chocolate chip cookies when I ordered candy cookies. And I made a video about this. Actually was a big deal because like a week or like I was sick, so I signed up for this. And and then I fasted for a few days. The first thing I ate, because I was just gonna do drinks for a few days, is I had like powdered cocoa, and I put sweetener in that, and I made like something kind of like a hot chocolate. And then I was starting to feel really bad, and then I actually vomited like all of this up. And so then like the next week I joined a trial membership. And so I'm actually, as I said, thinking of getting rid of this entire, I have a huge bag of organic cocoa powder. I'm thinking of dumping it in the garbage, or there's some people across the street. Maybe I'll give it to them. They've got a lot of kids over there. Maybe they would like it. But anyways, every time I would order Panera on DoorDash, I would order a candy cookie, and they don't say it's not in stock. They just send you a chocolate chip cookie, which I already said costs less. So if they're going to substitute, they need to send you extra. This is something to note. If you're out of what somebody ordered and you're not giving them their money back, and you're like, oh, I'll just send a chocolate one instead, make sure the item you're substituting for actually costs the same or more. Don't substitute it with something that costs less. But actually, I just thrown up chocolate, and like I didn't like chocolate anymore. So I just kept getting. So this happened on DoorDash. When I ordered from Panera.com, I got exactly what I ordered. The food was the perfect temperature. It seemed like more generous portions, and there was a bunch of napkins and silverware in that bag. And the person delivered it. It just seemed a lot better. It almost seemed like it was more soggy and wildy from DoorDash, and maybe it wasn't. You know, it was still good from DoorDash, but they kept giving me the wrong cookie. And then as soon as I order it from Panera.com, they sent what I ordered. No problems. Everything was perfect. And so I'm going to use that again. And then I actually, a couple of days when I was using UberEats and DoorDash, I said I only did this when I was really sick, and then my car was broken down, and I just signed up for a trial membership. So then I actually went to the Red Lobster website where you can order on their website. Here's the difference between so I did this on UberEats, not on DoorDash. I never would have purchased at Red Lobster before, but I'm being like a little less stringent, like a little less careful with what I eat the last few weeks. I don't know, I probably gained some weight, but I just was sick and then running out of money, and I don't know. I still avoid really bad things, but like in the past I never would have eaten Red Lobster. But I ordered it twice actually while I had an UberEats membership, but I didn't order a lot. So what I did is I went on there and I just got a lobster tail, and that was it. And so this was like $20. And so I think I'd eaten a lot the day before, or I just had some rice or like some leftover bread or something. For some reason, I didn't need very much food that day, because I had something very inexpensive, maybe something from Dollar Tree or something left over, or I had more than I needed the day before. So this day I was going to eat very little, but I was going to buy something like for my health and enjoyment, because seafood is good for you. So the lobster tail arrived, and the lobster tail was awesome. It was great. It was small. It was small, I'm going to say. But, you know, it was kind of worth it for the experience. I haven't had Red Lobster in like 20 years. This is like Cracker Barrel, the last time I ate Red Lobster. And guys, I did not just buy this. I've had this in my fridge for 2 weeks. I purchased this a couple weeks ago, and then I just had an empty cup. I put it in my fridge, and then I put my instant coffee in it, which I just did now. You can watch how to make your own Starbucks. Check that video out as well. Make sure to subscribe. I have a lot of ideas, tips, tricks, ways to save money. So anyways, I did order a lobster tail twice, and this kind of was worth it. The food, it was great. So the first time, and they sent 2 Cheddar Bay biscuits. Okay, I know these probably have like soy oil and whatever. It didn't taste like corn. I don't like cornbread. But it had a really good flavor. I'm sure that there was bad ingredients in it, but I ate it. I ate it, and they tasted great. They tasted great. And what was really nice about the lobster, I love that lobster. And they send like so much butter. They send like a cup full of butter, and there's already butter on it. And like I licked my fingers. I ate every single bit of that butter, and I needed it. But like when I was done, I had the empty shell. And I've got 3 hungry dogs in my house, and they were so happy. I broke the shell apart, and I gave it to them. And this has like glucosamine and chondroitin. I knew this years ago, but it's just something that is good for your health, and it's not in a lot of popular food items. Most people discard the shells, and that's why we don't get the nutrients that are in these things, like in the joints, cartilage, and shells. So that's why things like oxtails and lobster tails are good for you. But anyways, yes, I've been eating vegetarian, but I will still eat fish. And there's reason also is that fish, they don't suffer the same way that livestock does. So I think when they die, it's more similar to how a bug feels, where it just dies, and it doesn't suffer in pain and agony when it dies. And I can put this together, you know, based on scripture, what we were allowed to eat, what we weren't allowed to eat, in what conditions. Like when you're traveling, you can eat fish, but you can't eat the meat. Because you don't know if it's been dedicated to other gods, but also because has this animal been suffering, because they want the animal to suffer if it's being dedicated to a fallen angel. They want it to suffer. They want it to be unhealthy. And then not only is that animal like in agony, but then it's got like all these hormones and things like where it's anxious, its blood levels, like its sugar levels and things spike, and then you consume this and it affects your health. There's so many levels. But fish are not like that. I think you can just look if a fish dies. I think it just kind of just goes out. And the reason I also think this is just because God doesn't really limit a lot of fish, the way that we have to raise them and the way they have to be killed and slaughtered. You know, and I actually listened to a near-death experience of a person, and then like their spirit had been different things, like in a blade of grass, or maybe somebody used some drug, and then their spirit went to like a blade of grass, and it went to a bug, and like, or somebody had an NDE, and they had different lives. Like if somebody wants to like dip their feet into life on Earth, they might come as a bug, and they said they were just so happy all the time, and then all of a sudden they were dead, and then they had been stepped on. Like they just die instantly, and they don't suffer. So I think fish are more like this. So I eat fish. I like fish. It just tends to be too expensive to really afford often. So anyways, my dogs loved this shell. They were so happy. I think they know what Cracker Barrel is, and they know what Red Lobster is now. I actually ordered them each a few times, or Cracker Barrel twice. And so then I went on to the website. I went on to the website for Red Lobster, and it turns out that you can order your delivery for Red Lobster right on their own website. You don't need UberEats and DoorDash. And there were more items on the Red Lobster website than there were on DoorDash. They had like the catch of the day, like the fish item, and that wasn't on UberEats. At least it wasn't on UberEats. Actually, I didn't check DoorDash for this. And probably because that item changes every day, so that's why it would be on their website and not on UberEats. And then I saw like a meal, and it had like maybe some pasta and fish. I don't remember what it's called. Just something like very general, like one of the least expensive things. It's a meal, and it's got fish on it. Okay, so this was like 22, or it was not that expensive actually. And then I looked on UberEats, and they had the same thing, and it was more. So I'm saying is there was maybe something on Red Lobster, and it was like $20 or $22 on the Red Lobster website. And then you go to UberEats, and then it was like $25 or $27. But then they say if you have a membership, they give you a 10% discount. And that just drops it down to $25. And then you still have to pay a service fee, which is like $2.50. And so, guys, I figured this out. It's a scam to join and have memberships to UberEats mainly. It's mainly a scam. And the reason I say this is because if you went to the Red Lobster website, the items were more than 10% cheaper than on UberEats. And then on UberEats, you get a 10% discount. So you get a 10% discount if you have a membership. So now you're still paying less on redlobster.com than UberEats. And then Uber Eats also charges a service fee. And then Red Lobster charges what they said was an estimated $4.99 delivery fee. When you add them up, the price of having the item delivered from Red Lobster and from having a Uber Eats membership were pretty much the darn exact same thing. So I know I said that dumb on purpose. Sometimes I do this stuff for your guys' entertainment. What I'm saying is that Panera already offers free delivery if you spend $25. So like I normally wouldn't spend $25 for a day. So what I'll do is I'll add some extra cookies, and then I just have. This is hard for me. This is really hard. But like I have to hide them somewhere so I don't remember. But then I can have those cookies with a smaller meal like the next day, the next few days. And then I can spend less on food those days or get cheap stuff at like Walmart or Dollar Tree. And then I can have a delicious cookie at the end. So that actually makes up, because if you look at the cost of food per day, so then, you go on to Panera, maybe you'd only spend $20 for the day's worth of food or something, I don't know. And you might spend $15 or $20 for the day's worth of food and then pad it with like rice. You can do that. Or pad it with like fruit or bread or something cheap. This is a trick for us. Chosen ones. We know all about padding our meals so we can afford to eat, and it helps to have a credit card. But anyways, the price of Red Lobster and having an Uber Eats membership, like from their website, was like the same. The Red Lobster, the meals were like $5 less, and you had a $5 delivery fee. And the price of Uber Eats, they jack the price up, then they give you a discount, and then they give you a service fee, and then it's like the same. And Panera already offers free delivery. But they delivered the food and it was in better shape and it had napkins and stuff. And like, I'll go on Uber Eats or, and I'll select send me napkins. And a lot of times they don't send it. So, and then I noticed, I said, we charged your card for the full year membership. They weren't supposed to do it to the next day because I actually had it planned. I was going to cancel it that evening. And then they went ahead and charged it the day before. So I called them. And like, I think God helped too. I said, God help me take care of this. Because like they had a phone number listed on the internet. It was taken down, so you can't contact them to get your money back. I contacted them immediately, like the same day that my account was charged, and it went into the year-long annual membership. Which I'm gonna say honestly, if it was saving me money, and I was pleased with the service, I was gonna buy the year-long membership because I often have car troubles, and I thought it would be convenient. Well, no, it's not. And so I left him a few messages. What you got to do is you leave him a message and then you wait some number of hours. But like I did pray to ask God, like, please help me just cancel it. Please cancel this. I don't want, because I didn't want to be stressed about it. And I didn't want to be charged for it. Because what happened is they kept getting my orders wrong. See, the only thing that I would really use it for now is Chipotle. That's the only thing I'd really use it for now. I actually realized that I can bike down to a Cracker Barrel 2 or 3 miles away. I can bike to Cracker Barrel. I realized that there is a Starbucks a half mile from my house, and it's in a hospital. I actually live like a block over from a hospital. And so I can walk to this hospital or ride my bike down there. There's a bike rack right by the front door, and you walk in, there's a Starbucks. There's a Starbucks a half mile from my house. There is karaoke a half mile from my house. There is fresh sushi a half mile from my house. Like, awesome. And Panera delivers if you spend $25. So I normally wouldn't spend $25, but then I add extra cookies, which I eat later. So then I can get something kind of bland or cheap, and then I just have a cookie for dessert. And so I was looking what I could safely bike to, and it looks like there's a lot of sidewalks. If I actually go the other way and go a further distance, that I can go to Cracker Barrel, and there's another Starbucks down there where I actually could sit down at if I wanted. I just don't want to eat inside a hospital. I know it looks the same, but let's see what else is down there. I've got like thrift stores I can bike to. Let's see, Cracker Barrel. Oh, the Starbucks is right next to the Cracker Barrel, is right next to the Panera. Like, I can even bike to that too. I think maybe there's even a Chipotle down there. Right? I don't know. There's some places where it does not look safe to bike in my town. But then I'm thinking, like, if I can get what I order from Chipotle, I'm going to probably keep this Uber Eats membership. Well, guess what? 3 times I ordered a burrito and a kid's meal. 3 times. The first time, I got what I ordered, and that kid's meal was right. Second time, they sent a kid's meal, and it had no fruit, and it had no chocolate milk. The kid's meal, it's got like a little cheese quesadilla in it, and like it's got beans and rice, and it's seasoned so it tastes good. But it's supposed to have fruit in there, and it's supposed to have a chocolate milk in there, and that's why I ordered it. Because I really wanted a fruit and a chocolate milk, and I didn't go to the store recently. So, the second time, they just sent like a little burrito, and there was no fruit and no chocolate milk. And then, of course, I had to go on there again to the website and complain. Half the time my order's wrong. Okay, so then the third time I ordered the kids' meal from Chipotle, you know what they sent? Okay, so I've been eating vegetarian. They sent a cheese quesadilla with meat on it, I think was beef. I ate it anyways. I shouldn't have. Maybe I sinned here. I don't know. I repented before the Lord. They sent a cheese quesadilla with meat on it. And then I thought that, like, well, as soon as I opened the bag, I saw that there was a package of milk in there, and I was happy, and I didn't even look at it, and I put it in the fridge. And then I did go on to the help thing, and I said that there's no fruit in here. So they gave me, like, $1 or $2 credit. But anyways, yeah, they give me a credit. Like, well, this is the whole reason I purchased the kids' meal. You should just give me my money back at that point. But I didn't know, because I saw that there was a tray in there with a meal in it. I didn't even check it. I should have checked it before I went to the help center, because I didn't eat it until that evening. Like, I ate it several hours later. So I just assumed the quesadilla was fine, because it was fine the other 2 times. No, it was not a cheese quesadilla. They put meat on the darn thing, and the milk was a white milk, and not a chocolate. I ordered a chocolate milk, and I didn't even get to tell them. I didn't even get to tell them, like, this is not chocolate milk in here. This is a white milk. I don't like white milk. I actually hate white milk. I actually hate, but anyways, I actually found a way to use it the next day. So, I started to drink the white. That's why actually I knew, because it was kind of dark in my house. Put the straw and start drinking it, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't taste as good. And I looked at it. It was a white milk. And you know when milk starts to turn and it has that bad taste to it? It had a little bit of that in it. And that's probably just the way that white milk is, honestly. But it wasn't tasting good. So I didn't even finish this. It's like a small little container. I just drank some of it and I didn't like it. I put it in the fridge. I found out what I did is I had my instant coffee. I should put my black coffee in here to make it look like a Starbucks. And then I took my little milk packet from my kids' milk and I squeezed it in and I made like a latte. So I didn't completely waste it. That's what I mean. Like, I tried to order a kid's meal 3 times. First time, great. Second time, missing fruit, missing milk. Third time, I got a white milk instead of a chocolate milk, and I had no fruit. Like, I ordered this to get a fruit. Like, if I could go on to their menu and just order a fruit, I would have added it. So then, at that point, like, and I left the message, and then no one responded for a few hours. I went back to the chat log, and I added something else. I said, too many problems with orders. And then the third time, I said, I'm going to file a chargeback or dispute with my credit card if you don't return the money. I'm not being some scammer here. I actually ordered something else that day, which was supposed to be the last day of my trial membership, in which I had intended to cancel. So I let them know why I was unhappy, because I'm having too many problems with my orders. And, yeah, I didn't continue using it for like a week after my trial membership ran out. But yeah, they do automatically charge you, and it's not a great deal. And I realized I can get on the bike, I can hop on the bike, in 5 minutes, I'm at a Starbucks. I can hop on the bike, 20 minutes, I'm at a Cracker Barrel. 20 minutes, I'm at a Red Lobster. So it's actually really convenient that there's a hospital a block over from my house with a really good Starbucks in it, like a good Starbucks. And nobody goes in, so like they don't do deliveries out of the hospital. They don't want to have Uber drivers stopping at a hospital. But like, I actually found out about this from Saul of Tarsus. Believe it or not, Saul of Tarsus. Because he like, normally I drove, or we both drove, like to the hardware store to pick something up. But this one time he drove and I didn't drive. And so I mentioned like I was wanting to get a coffee, you know, because, you know, it was like my guilty pleasure thing. And so when he showed up on Friday and we were out, I'm like, I want to get a coffee. And so he actually stopped at the hospital. I'm like, are we allowed to stop at the hospital to get Starbucks? And then he said his wife and son had done that before. I'm like, oh, well, this really opens up, like, my quality of life can really go uphill now because I don't need an Uber Eats membership to have Starbucks. Like the other one, I don't know. It's not really safe to bike to, and it's far away. This is like, I just like go a little ways down the block, and there's the hospital. And once you walk into that door, there is a Starbucks. How awesome is that? Then I can have Panera delivered. And actually, you don't need an or you don't need a membership to have your groceries delivered. And you're not saving money, actually. I even ordered some DoorDash while I had the Uber Eats membership just for groceries, just to get a few pizzas. So I got like a pint of ice cream and a pizza. And the pizza plus the fee and the tip or whatever plus the ice cream would be like $15. Now I get too hungry and then I'm finding I'm like eating more food, but still that would be $15 for the day. But I'm not quite satisfied though with that. I want more. I want 2 ice creams, or I want like a bag of chips, or I want some fruit or something with it too. But anyways, my plan was to eat the pizza and a pint of ice cream those days. And I found like they got the organic ice cream there that's like kosher and halal, and so I ordered that on there. And I didn't have the paid membership. And the price was the same. You just have to spend $40 and then the fees drop off. And so Uber Eats, even if you have a membership, the fees seem to be the same. And the fees don't completely drop off, maybe if you spend $70. So you're not saving money to have a membership. So I found that if I really needed groceries and let's say I couldn't bike, it was raining or snowing, that I could just go ahead and order it without having a paid membership. And I had a paid membership, and they're still going to limit the amount of times I can go to help and file a complaint. This is the last thing I'm going to discuss, which is almost every time I ordered something, there was something wrong with it. And like the time when they left out, okay, maybe this is the one thing Cracker Barrel did, I don't know. I think they actually did include it. Another restaurant. They did nothing wrong except for leave out the reusable cutlery, like the plastic forks and stuff. I don't think I went to help for that. But that's still annoying, because where are you? You might not have any forks. You might be out, and then you're eating things with your hands. Like, you're not paying for restaurant food to eat things with your hands. So it's like you go into a 7-Eleven or into a Circle K, and you might do that. You don't pay the extra price. So you guys can understand this. But yeah, there was something wrong with my order so often. It was like half of the time, if not more. And I'm going on to help, and I'm filing a complaint. And then I noticed DoorDash alerted to me to this, which is something that I wouldn't have been so concerned about. At first, DoorDash, and they're like, we said, we noticed you're having a lot of problems with your order, and they prompt this before you go to help, trying to scare you into not complaining when something is wrong. And yeah, I'm sure they're scammers, but I'm not a scammer. If I order a candy cookie, I better have a candy cookie in that bag, and a chocolate chip cookie is not a substitute. I don't like a chocolate chip cookie, and it costs less, at least like... You know, I was thinking if they sent me 2 chocolate chip cookies instead of 1, I wouldn't have filed a complaint. Because then it would actually look like they were trying to make it right. But they know that the candy cookie costs more. So it's kind of like they're stealing from me in a sense. So that's wrong. And, you know, so I went and I filed a complaint. Like, I don't want a chocolate chip cookie. And there's nowhere for me to put a note or contact anyone or for them to contact me if there's something wrong with the order. So the only recourse that we have using these services is to go to their website and file a help complaint. But I think that there's a limit. You file so many complaints and you're cut off and you can't get your money back. But then these restaurants keep sending things incorrectly. So my favorite restaurants, like when I eat organic and stuff, just look at the menus and things they order. Starbucks had clean food. There were items you could order that are clean, without artificial ingredients, chemicals, and GMOs. Okay? Chipotle also had good ingredients. These were my favorite. And Panera. So you can look at the ingredients, and just the quality of their food was much better than a lot of other restaurants. And so when Starbucks always had something wrong with the order, maybe 1 time out of 5 there'd be nothing wrong with it. Okay, so I'm not going to pay for this, and I'm going to file a complaint and get my money back. And then Chipotle, every time I get a kid's meal, I'm not ordering a kid's meal for a little quesadilla. I'm ordering it because I want a chocolate milk. I'm ordering it because I want a piece of fruit. And if it's not in that bag, I'm going to get my money's back. But then they're going to set a limit, and then you're just going to be out of luck. So first DoorDash tries to guilt trip you into not filing a complaint, like, there's a lot of problems here. Are you sure you want to say you didn't get your chocolate milk? Yes. Yes, I do, because I purchased this kid's meal to get, no, I'm not a kid. I ordered this kid's meal because I want a chocolate milk. And I don't see anywhere else on this menu where I can only buy a chocolate milk. It's not even on their menu. So now I'm going to bike. I am going to bike in the traffic. I'm sure this is some type of safety concern, as people don't like when you bike on the roads with them and they zip around you. I'm sure this isn't safe. I'm sure God will protect me. But, I don't necessarily want to. I'm going to bike down to these restaurants. I'm going to take the time to bike there and order myself in person to make sure my items are right. So biking, let's say if I have to bike for 40 minutes round trip to get my meal, that is what I'm doing instead of using UberEats and DoorDash. Thank you. So there is my review of these services. Plus Panera, you can already get free delivery. Red Lobster on their website, you can already deliver. Actually, it might be possible with Chipotle and these other restaurants. I don't know. I don't think Chipotle. But a lot of restaurants do offer delivery. I know that pizza restaurants deliver. Pizza delivery has been popular for 50 years or something? I don't know. So I would say right now, no, do not sign up for these. Use the free membership, and when you're out of regular groceries, then I would suggest maybe for that. It would be useful. But remember that each grocery item costs more. Some of their pricier things are $1 more per item. You are paying a lot more. And that's why I hardly tip. I leave $1 tip or something, because their service fee, a lot of this actually is paying their drivers, which it should be. But say that if I order $70 worth of food, if I order $70 worth of food on DoorDash, and this costs the same as it does on Uber Eats and all that, then I'm paying almost $1 more per item. I'm paying $10 or $15 more because they jack the price up, and then that's paying their driver. So then I leave a tip, it'll be very small. They want to force you to tip so that they pay less, because their fees are too high. The fees should be all inclusive, and the fees are. But they should have no tip at all then. I mean, what I think is just the people that created these companies are getting more of the money for themselves and giving less to the driver. So then their fees need to be lower, and we decide where our money goes. Because if the fees include paying the driver and paying Uber Eats and DoorDash CEOs, then we should pick. I want to send 25 cents to the CEO, and I want to send $3 to the delivery person. But you don't get to decide that, unfortunately. So if you don't leave a tip at all, they actually have to give your fee to the driver. So it's best to not tip, honestly. I'm going to say it's best to not tip, because if you don't tip, then almost all of your service fee pays your driver, because they have to get paid so much per mile and for their delivery. But if you do tip, then most of that money goes to Uber Eats and DoorDash. So it's actually not helping. So you could not tip at all. So this might be useful if you want to give them more money, is don't tip at all, and then have them, they have to see you and hand you the food, and then give them a couple dollars. The thing is, I don't have money physically. I don't have physical money. I'm riding a bike back and forth, and I'm broke. So, but for you guys, normal people, if you want to make sure your driver gets the most and the CEOs get the least, okay, here's how to do it. Don't tip at all, and make sure the delivery driver hands you the food, or they see you. Put this in the notes too. But yeah, you can pick it, whether just leave at the door or hand you the food, and then just give them cash. This won't be reported, and they'll get the full amount. So if we can afford it, it's always good. And that's the thing. I'm sorry to my delivery drivers. I don't have a lot of money. If I was rich, I would leave you guys a much higher tip, and that's the thing, is that maybe in the future I will. So keep delivering. You know what my house looks like. I probably have a scary haunted house here. My house scares people when they see it. It's a beautiful house, but it's all shabby looking. I have a beautiful house, but it scares people. I noticed one person came to the door, and you look right behind me. That is a sign in my window, and it's got the gun on it. It says, forget about the dogs, beware the owner. And so whenever somebody comes to the door, which is right next to it, the dogs run up, and I got this big St. Bernard mix, and they bark really loud, and then they see that sign. When they look at the dog in the window, and it says, forget about the dogs, beware the owner, and there's a gun pointed. So people see this, and then one guy called on the phone. One delivery driver called on the phone, and he wanted to meet me at the back door, and I said, oh, just bring it around front, and because he didn't want to park in the front street. And I said, well, you can just stop in the alley behind my house. No one cares. You can do that for a few minutes. It's fine. It is. Because I'm kind of in the middle, and you can go around the block on either side. And the guy kept trying to trip me into, have meet me at the back door. And, I said, no, because the dogs, just leave it at the front door. And he just kept saying it. I'm like, no, just leave the stuff at the front door. And he's like, but that sign up there, that's the sign that says, so he was afraid of my sign, and he didn't want to deliver the food by my front door, but also he probably didn't want to walk. But, there's reasons why. Normally I would be able to meet somebody at my back door. You know where my back door is? It's in that addition where it's raining into the house. In that room, it was raining into the room. It smells like mold. And there's dog shit on the floor. And the dogs always try to get out. So, no, I wasn't going to meet you at the back door. And this is why. It's raining into that room. There's mushrooms in the carpet. It smells like mold. And honestly, it would have just made my meal a little less enjoyable. And your experience would have been worse as well. But yeah, I did scare God. I didn't mean to scare him. That sign is awesome. I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't buy that sign. God left that sign for me. The person that lived here before put that sign there, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh, cool, I like it. And there was another sign on the back gate that said, beware of dog. That broke off and fell off. But I don't need that, because people can see the dogs. They can see the dogs, because, like, I put a chain link fence in. So if you look in my yard, the dogs are usually out back, and you can see them without coming into my yard. So I have a portion of my yard before you get to the chain link fence. If you try to approach my house, my dogs run out, and they will bark at you. I don't need a beware of the dog sign. But that sign there, this is beware the owner, I'm going to shoot you. Like, that's pretty cool. So God left that there for me, and I like it. And several people have seen that, and some of them have been very afraid. I never would have bought it, but I can totally recommend. I don't recommend DoorDash and UberEats, but I do recommend go to your local hardware store and pick up one of those signs that says, like, no trespassing or beware of owner. Pick one of those up. People don't want to mess with that, and it will probably keep your property safer. But with my dogs, I don't even need it. Like, look at that. Like, that's what happens when somebody comes to the door. That's what they see, and they leave. No, there was a guy talking about he worked for some company selling like energy. Reba. Selling energy rates or something where they said the AP was raising their prices. And, of course, my dogs bark like crazy whenever someone knocks on the door. And I was upstairs. I came down, and I get outside. And he's like, well, hopefully, the dogs, he said, I hope that, or the dogs like dark meat or something, like, because the dogs were barking. I said, no, they are nice dogs. They don't attack anybody. But they jump. So they don't need to attack it. If you broke into my house, I'm not saying they might attack you, but they might not attack you, but like they go crazy. I was just coming home the other day and they're jumping up and down and almost knocking me over, and you'll get scratched and stuff. So it's pretty dangerous. Okay, guys, right now, don't get an Uber Eats or DoorDash membership. I'd possibly say that if you work, it could be useful to have food delivered to your office. That could be good for lunch in the middle of the day. I could see where possibly that would be good for you. But if they have a lot of, like, a rush of orders at this time, then there's probably going to be an uptick of incorrect orders and missing items. So, if you don't mind spending more and not getting what you ordered, you don't mind substitutions, and, just paying more money, then, go ahead. But right now, for most of us, I would say it's just not there yet. It's in its infancy. I say give it 5 or 10 years, and then I'll come back and possibly try it again, and then I could recommend it. Right now, I don't recommend it. Not unless you've got plenty of money. I said you don't really mind substitutions, and, But remember to tip your driver, if you can, tip your driver in cash when they arrive. Don't tip on the app, and that will make sure your money goes to your driver and not to Uber Eats and DoorDash. Thanks, guys, for watching.